Hello, Popcorn Junkies. We have a special guest. Abby Road.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Sorry, no, Abby, Maddie's dear friend and becoming a dear family member, adopted member.
She's my husband.
She's Maddie's husband. And they're here to review. You're a massive Beatles fan, aren't you?
I am.
Huge Beatles fan.
She's nuts.
Love
She's
this since
nuts.
I was little.
She's slightly panicked about going home and perhaps the Beatles not existing, which would be disastrous. But anyway, obviously we're reviewing Yesterday, which is the new film directed by Danny Boyle, written by Richard Curtis, who wrote Four Weddings and a Funeral, Love Actually, Notting Hill.
All that malarkey.
Bit of a comic writer.
Paul McCartney.
And I have to confess, I'm going to put it out there right now, I was a fan of Four Weddings and a Funeral. And the other film that I liked by Richard Curtis was About Time.
About Time, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
I love that.
okay,
I
About
love that
Time.
film.
That's the kind of film that
Was
made
it?
me excited about this film. Because I
Right.
thought it was going to be a film like About Time. I love
So
About Time.
one of the curious things that happens with these Popcorn Junkies reviews is that we have some disagreements, but not massive disagreements, and we all tend to kind of like the same sort of films. But I'm going to now encourage Abby.
Well, me and you usually love it. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, yeah. So me and Maddie rarely fall out. Now I'm asking Maddie and Abby to direct their review into the camera because I'm worried they might cuff each other the way it was going when they walked in. So I wasn't going to review this film because I had such a strong reaction to it. I'm just going to put my reaction out there. I went to see it last week and I actually said to the guys, you know what, I don't want to post a really negative review because I think a lot of people are going to like this film and I don't want to knock it. But I came out in hives. I actually had a rash when I came out. I found it so unbearable. I'll park that. So tell us, what did you think, Maddie?
Well, obviously, when this trailer came out for this film,
Yeah,
I already knew that I was going to love it.
right.
I've been excited about this film for
You
ages.
have. You've been almost giddy with
I
excitement.
have been. It's weird how excited about it
Yeah.
because I'm not even like a
You even turned around to me and said, we need to see it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not even like a big I'm not a big Beatles fan. Like,
Almost
I love
more
their
excited
music.
than Midsummer.
I love. Yeah, that's weird. I love their music, but I've never been like a
No,
fan.
no.
And yeah, I'm glad you brought up About Time because About Time is that kind of movie. I love About Time.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's kind of that movie that you can just whack on when you can't find anything else to watch.
Right.
And it's enjoyable enough for you to just watch
Right.
it. So I was like, Yesterday's going to be a film a bit like
Okay,
that.
yeah.
And obviously you came back and you said it was so bad and that you didn't even think I was going to like it.
Well, I
So
thought
then-
I'd be surprised if you did.
So then I was like, well, I'm still going to see it because I've been this excited about it.
Yeah.
I went in today thinking this is going to be absolutely awful. If Dad's this against it, it can't be good. And I was laughing in the first 5 minutes.
Wow, Abby.
Yeah, well, when I first watched the trailer, I was like, I'm probably going to be really like angry because I love the Beatles.
'Cause you're a
and, like,
Beat-
this
yeah.
one guy's kind of trying to take it on, be them.
Yeah,
But
it's got to be special, isn't it? If he's...
yeah, I agree with Maddie on what she said about it's funny. It is a really funny film.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's just I wouldn't want to watch it again.
Now, let me explain to you why I didn't. I went.
But you didn't even find it funny.
Yeah, but I went into this film concerned because I like. I'm going to cause Abby some upset here. I wasn't necessarily a massive Beatles fan when I went in, but when you hear their tunes, you're reminded of the genius, and so and with every tune, you think, oh right, they did that. Oh right, they did that. I also went in knowing that Maddie was so excited about this, and I thought, okay, well, look, it's really important that I go in and I'm not like, a really boring old bastard, and I actually go, okay, let's give this a chance. Now, I gave it a chance. I've been a fan of some of Danny Boyle's films, like The Beach and Train Spotting
I love
and
Train
28 Days Later and stuff like that. And I liked Richard Curtis's early stuff. But as this got going, I felt like it was directed by someone who was fast asleep. And it felt like it was written by an A-level student of sort of really B-rated rom-com nonsense. And I thought that, yes, you can, it's all about, I mean, what this film demands of you is for you to let go of reality and just go, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But even in its own terms, the ridiculousness didn't stack up. I just thought, why are we even entertaining this thought? Why is this even a
But
thought?
you watched a film about a demonic dress.
Well, and I'm
Dress
still
that
asking
kills people.
myself why I wasted the time
So-
seeing that.
So that's what really annoys me about when people criticise a film or a
Yeah.
story or a play
Yeah.
by saying what was the point of it.
No, I agree,
Because
that's
you
not
could
enough.
say that about anything.
Well, you could.
I liked the idea of all the iconic things in the world, nobody remembering them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that. Yeah,
But
Like I thought it was just going to be the Beatles before.
Yeah, I liked the
trailer
connections. I like the connections of what else wasn't there.
Yeah, which is like cigarettes, Coca-Cola,
Oasis. I mean, for those, if you haven't seen it, so the idea is this massive sort of power cut, sort of seismic quantum weird thing happens where all power goes, everyone comes back, but the only weird thing that's happened is that the Beatles have vanished.
All the iconic things from the have vanished. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Well, yes.
Imagine if all your favourite things. Maybe
Imagine,
it's because you don't like the Beatles that much.
Yeah.
Imagine who's your favourite artist.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
A world
Elton
without
John
them.
never
Elton
existed.
John. Imagine Elton John didn't. No, I know, but I still don't know if I'd want to go and see a film entertaining the thought of whether Elton John didn't exist.
But why? It's a laugh. Like, I think you're taking it a bit too seriously.
Okay, fair enough. All right, fair enough.
I mean,
Upsetting.
the one thing that you know about this film is it's not taking itself seriously.
Well, and I think that's a fair point. Why don't you hammer that home? I mean, am I being an absolute killjoy?
I think Dad's being a bit of a killjoy.
Okay.
Obviously, I have no problem with you not loving the film.
Well, I can tell you do. I mean, this will cause. This will believe you and me. This will cause rumbles for weeks on end.
I can sit here and I can say that it wasn't a perfect film.
Right.
It was far too long.
Yeah.
It had very cliche, camp, cheesy
Yeah, do you
bits.
agree, Abby?
The love story, didn't quite believe
thought
it.
the love story was
Did not like
diabolical.
Lily James.
No, Lily.
But as a whole, I wasn't sitting there thinking I want to walk out because this is so absolutely unbearable.
Okay.
I was sitting there, I laughed.
Right.
I enjoyed most of everybody's performance apart from hers, actually.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't sit there thinking this is a pointless film. Why am I entertaining the fact of a film about the Beatles
Yeah,
never
no, of
existing?
course.
And I feel
No, I
like
think
because
that's
you
a
could
fair-
do that about any film.
I think that's a
that you
fair
watch.
comment. I think that's a fair comment. You can't start unpicking why. This is the film that they've made, and that's what we're responding.
Yeah.
But you seem to be getting crosser and crosser, Abby, as you were standing over there before filming
I
this.
mean, when I came out, I really enjoyed it because it was funny. It had Ed Sheeran. I think Ed Sheeran did a great job.
Well, I was going to say, what did you think of Ed Sheeran? He was
I
was
was-
sweet.
Because I love him, and I was like, the fact that he's acting and he actually pulled it off really well. And
Well,
it made
I
it
found the
seem
first scene
thriller.
really eggy, but you feel that was purposeful. I mean,
So-
in the kitchen.
Yeah, but that was
Yeah,
so
it was-
supposed. It was so supposed to be
Oh, right,
awkward.
okay.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to kind of be
Yeah.
like, what? That was
There's no way that wasn't supposed to be awkward because
Yeah.
it's like the silences and the kind of like,
Yeah.
that's what it would be like in
And
real life if
they
Ed
didn't know it
Sheeran
was
was.
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, if Ed Sheeran was in your kitchen, you wouldn't believe that it was Ed Sheeran. You'd probably just. I
Yeah.
thought that's what I loved about this the most is how natural
But just stare at
the
it.
performances were when the storyline was so
Right.
surreal.
So I'm interested to get back to what was it you didn't like about it? Because I'm sensing you kind of found it funny and you liked Ed Sheeran, but
See-
was it the way they treated was it the fact that you never heard the Beatles properly?
It was the fact that he didn't really stand for their legacy because he didn't really know a lot about the Beatles, and it's like
Right.
you're not really a fan.
Right.
of the
Oh, okay.
Beatles.
So he wasn't.
At
Yeah.
the beginning of the film, it didn't show anything to do with him liking them, and then suddenly
Ah.
he's
Accidentally
making all
strumming.
these references and singing their songs, and
Right.
suddenly he wants to be them.
I see what you mean. So it might have been you might have preferred it if he'd been a sort of die-hard fan to begin
Yeah, if
with
he
or
was a
something.
fan and he
Yeah, I know what
actually
you mean.
like loved them and he wanted to make it
Yeah.
the Beatles music, then fair enough. But he
Yeah.
wasn't. And then the cliche love story, everything about it was just fake. It seemed like a high school student had wrote in the kind of love story behind it and
Yeah.
the lines for it.
Yeah. I found the romance. I didn't think there was any chemistry between them.
Yeah, no.
I don't
On
know.
her part.
On
they
her
thought
part.
she was what ruined that whole.
Really?
I feel like the film would have been better
Yeah.
if she wasn't in it.
Ooh.
If
It was
somebody, not her character.
No, no,
if
no.
somebody else played her character because
Yeah.
it was her performance that drove me utterly insane.
Oh, okay.
She was delivering things and I was literally sweating from how.
Oh.
And I
Well,
like
maybe
Lily
that's what I
James
was
because
picking
she
up
was
on.
great in Baby Driver, so I don't really
Yeah.
know what happened.
Yeah.
But I was just so over dramatic, especially alongside him when he's underplaying everything.
Yes.
And it worked.
Yeah.
And she was so over dramatic.
And so you I mean, I must admit, I didn't have a major problem with him, but I found almost, because he's from EastEnders, isn't he, Himesh Patel? And he played it so ordinarily, if you like, that he was so ordinary that I think a part of me I felt wanted a bit more, something a bit more, because he was ordinary. Ed
more
Sheeran is
personality.
ordinary. Yeah, I think what I lacked in the whole film was a sort of star quality, which is why I really liked, what's the name of the woman who played the agents?
She was very Hollywood.
She was very Hollywood, but her lines, and she was the most sort of if you like, scripted and artificial, wasn't she? And she was really kind of brash and kind of American, and wow, you're
great.
fat.
I love
but-
that actress.
What was her line? You're still.
It's strange you're skinny but yet still round.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was a cracking line. But I don't know, I wanted a bit more zing and a bit more zang from one of them. But they were very ordinary.
But that worked because he wasn't making it anywhere in his career because of his
Right.
lack of personality
Yes.
and charisma
Yeah.
and star. I think quality, and that's. I mean, she says that to him. She's like, his songs are great and everything, but that's about all there is to you. You're unattractive.
Yeah.
You're skinny yet kind of round.
Yeah.
You don't have anything interesting to say.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody's so shocked that this ordinary guy that was a failure is suddenly writing some of the
but
most
they
iconic
gave him a
songs.
makeover, and yet he still looked exactly the same.
Well, he didn't have a beard and he had teeth.
What do we think of Rocky? Did you like Rocky?
I loved Rocky.
The roadie?
He was
You
so
didn't like
good.
him?
So funny.
Oh, you did like it? Yeah, yeah.
Kinda, he brought so much humour, and obviously Ed Sheeran brought lots of humour, so it kind of made it okay.
I liked him.
No, he didn't.
I did. I liked him, but I didn't like him as much as I wanted to like him. And I think that was less to do with him. It was more to do with the writing. I think he could have had. I think he could have had more. His lines could have been killer lines, and I think he was like Rhys Ifans in Notting Hill. Was he in Notting Hill? And it was just like, wow, come on.
Well, no, because you said the thing
Should've
about
had
the
more credit.
before we went to go and see it. You said the thing about the writing not being very good. So I went in there thinking, oh, I'm gonna listen out for the writing and see what I think of it. I didn't think it was that bad.
I just thought the plotting was very predictable. It was very. I mean,
I
your
felt
thing
that
about
was that type of film. I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting an intelligent
Okay.
film that like thought really deeply
Yeah.
into things. I knew it was going to be simple, cliche camp and just a bit funny.
But why
I
would
think
you-
you're mostly going there to just have an enjoyable time. I feel like it's just not that type of film where you can sit there and say, well, this didn't make sense. It was a pointless watch because that could never happen, and why would I be interested in that? Because you can literally say that about any film.
Yeah.
You
So
can
I
say,
mean-
what was the point of that
I
film?
get what you're saying, but I still think it was poorly written. Like, although it was meant to be thoughtless and cliche, it was too cliche. The
That's what
romance, it was like
Yeah.
that was the worst part of the film, and it was really poorly written. And yet
and it was
they
a big
focused
part
so
of the
much
film.
of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like they seem to have focused more on the romance between the characters than they did actual Beatles.
You know what I thought I was expecting to happen at some point in the film was, you know, that nightmare dream sequence he has on the James Corden show? I was expecting them to walk in. I mean, I thought the real jeopardy was going to come when the real Beatles
Yeah, I was like,
were going to step into his life, and perhaps they hadn't made it, but they had written the songs, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I thought that might have been a richer vein, because he would have been challenged by the... And I thought we were going to see Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr at the end of the film. There's a scene, it's a bit of a spoiler, but there's a scene which features John Lennon. What did you think of that scene?
I really loved that scene.
Yeah, I thought it
was
found
clever.
it made me think. It was the first time in the film where I thought about the Beatles' legacy and what it might mean for John Lennon not to have been shot. And I found that quite poignant. I found that quite emotional to think of the life he never led.
same.
And I thought that for me that was the most poetic moment of the whole film.
Yeah, I think that was probably the best. But then
Yeah.
at the same time, it was kind of.
But then a lot of people have said it's awful.
He went to see
What?
him and he
Yeah.
didn't say anything. He just kind of sat there and was like, "You're John Lennon," and it's like, "Well,
That's
aren't
what
you
I'd
going to
be
tell
like.
him about? Aren't you going to try to see if he knows anything or
Yes.
anything?
Or are you going to try and find out where did all of that talent come from?
Yeah, like
I know
he
what you
just
mean.
sat
Yeah,
there
yeah.
and.
There's a funny line from
"Can
John
I help
Lennon.
you?"
You need serious psychiatric
You see-
help.
You're right. So in a
Don't
way,
now.
but that goes back to the plotting and the writing. So they had a very rich moment there, and I think they dropped the ball because they could have explored that a lot more.
It's just a poorly written
Yeah.
film, I think. The idea was good, but what they got out of it wasn't that great.
I have to say, I think the clip that was in the trailer, "Hey Dude," that will always make me chuckle. It's quite funny, isn't it?
So
And-
annoying, but so funny.
yeah, it's so annoying, so predictable, and so funny. And I think you've kind of convinced me that Himesh Patel was meant to be ordinary.
He was meant to be.
No, I know, I get
I
that.
thought
I
You can
get
tell that from the trailer.
Yeah, and
It's
yeah.
that bit where he plays Yesterday, and it's like, oh, you know, it's not Coldplay, it's not Fix You. And he's
Yeah.
like, no, it's not Fix You. It's the greatest song. It was just like the way.
I thought he was.
I
good,
can't
he was
express
funny.
the way. I love when
But
lines
you
are
did-
delivered like the British Office, the series
Yeah.
The Office, when everything's just really like bleak
Yes.
British humour,
Yeah.
where it's like our sarcasm and our dryness. He had such a dry sense of delivering all of his lines.
Okay.
That's what made me so excited about seeing the film.
Right.
For his performance.
Didn't you
And I
think
got
though there
that.
were so many bits where they were running from one scene to another? And
I've said, I didn't think that this was the perfect film, and there were definitely weak points.
Okay.
I didn't like the love story,
Okay.
and that they focused that on
Yeah.
that more than what I was interested in. But I'm not going to just poo-poo on the whole film because of weaker bits.
Okay, well, should we sum up and give it a score?
Obviously, I really loved this film.
Nah, you don't say.
I really enjoyed
watching
it, and I think I got what I was expecting from the trailer.
Yeah.
And
you met the film in the terms that it wanted you to do, wanted people to meet it on.
Yeah, and I think that's what everybody should do if they want to go and see this film.
Yeah, I agree.
Go at it expecting a camp, a cliche, an imperfect, maybe very, very weak points within this film as well. Movie that's just kind of just a bit of a feel-good thing that you just go and see, and you're kind of watching it and you're like, I don't really know why I'm watching this, but it's enjoyable enough for me to sit here and watch it. I mean, if people agree with me and they kind of like that kind of bleak, dry, sarcastic British humour, then you will get some of that from this film. I really like listening to, obviously it was his version of it and it was him singing it, but it's nice to hear all of the Beatles songs as well. I mean, I would recommend this to a lot of people I know have actually been really excited about this as well.
Right.
And I went and told them that my dad saw it and said it was rubbish. They were like, oh, I was looking forward to it.
God almighty, sorry.
Yeah. But I'll go and tell them.
That it's
but
not.
I thought it was a great film. And yeah, I think it was just a bit of a laugh. I feel like it's just going to be one of those films when you're all sitting, the family's sitting around, they're like, we've watched this, can't think of this, let's just pop on yesterday. And it can like play in the background and you can lightheartedly watch it. It's not heavy, it's not taking itself seriously either. But I would give this film 8.5.
Oh, that's exactly what I thought you were going to give it.
And also, Kiki was not excited about that film at all. Like, she thought she was going to hate it more than Dad, and she ended up loving it.
Well, I do think it's a funny film. Like, it's a hilarious film, and that's its strong point. But I wouldn't want to watch it again, so I wouldn't tell anyone to go out of their way to put it on or go see it.
Right.
I'd say if it was on and you were curious about it, if it was on TV, for sure watch it. But it was just really poorly written, and I think they focus on all the wrong stuff.
I think that's an interesting point you made about the John Lennon moment, and also the fact that the key character wasn't balmy about the Beatles in the first place. So what would you give it if you had to?
I'm going to be generous and give it a 6 because I did enjoy watching it.
Right.
But I wouldn't recommend it.
So it left you feeling a bit meh.
Yeah.
A bit of a meh. Okay,
Go on then, Dad.
Okay, I'm going to go for it. Here's the thing. Danny Boyle, I have a love-hate relationship with Danny Boyle, the director, and I'm coming at it from a director's perspective, generally.
Sorry.
No, and I just expected more from Danny Boyle. I think with his material, they were going for a bit of sci-fi, not sci-fi literally, but fantasy. It was a bit ludicrous. It was ludicrous. And you're right, this film demands that you suspend belief. And unless you're willing to, you're not going to enjoy it. And I clearly struggled with suspending disbelief and just going for the ride. So I didn't jump on board, I didn't go for the ride, so I then ended up just watching it thinking, oh, that's a bit creaky, oh, that's a bit creaky, oh, that doesn't make sense. And as soon as you start picking those sorts of things out of a film like this, Maddie's absolutely spot on, you're kind of not in the right frame of mind to watch it, and you're not the right person to really review it, which is why I wasn't actually going to review the film, because lots of people have worked on it. What I would say is that I know that Richard Curtis can write better than this, so I was disappointed in that. And I know that Danny Boyle can direct better than this, and so I was disappointed not to see a bit of inventiveness around camera use. It's the kind of thing I would expect to see on the BBC iPlayer, and not necessarily in the cinema. And I like to go to the cinema for a cinematic experience, and there was nothing about this that was cinematic. It was small screen, right down to, and I think that's why I keep referring back to the performances. The performances were very small and ordinary, and that worked with the plot. And yet at the same time, that still meant it didn't feel cinematic. There was nothing big bursting out of it. So when they went to LA and there was the agent, I started to get interested there. That was kind of fun. So I'm gonna have to be honest. I hated this film with a vengeance, and I'm gonna give it 2.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Ooh. Now, Maddie, do you want a final last word?
Kiki! Kiki!
Oh my God! She's she's literally corralling support from her sister.
What would you give that film out of 10?
See, I think my
8.
I think my 6 was extremely generous.
Wow! So me and Abby are
8.5.
8.5 from you and 8 from Kiki. Wow! I'm now gonna
Sisters.
Abby, you're gonna have to
Without
hang around.
humour, I would have probably given it like a 3.
Right.
Probably not even that.
There you go. So me and Abby are on the same page here, and I think now
for
my
you
life's
two.
not
I just
going.
like it a bit more than you did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and I think my life's going to be hell because I have to live with Maddie, and she is my
don't worry,
cinema
I'll
buddy.
only be in my room, so
Oh,
I'll be coming down anymore.
ooh! Is that the end of watching
Just
American
out
Horror
my front
Story?
door and that, huh?
Is that the end of watching American Horror Story
Yeah.
together? Oh shit! Thanks, Abby. Thank you for guesting.
For more film and family fun, don't forget to click the subscribe button and make sure to click the bell to never miss an update.